Okay, today we're going to talk a little bit about how we do the seams whenever you're installing color PPF. We've been installing a lot of this Nanolink color paint protection film on a lot of different vehicles, and we've had a lot of questions on what do you do when you have to line up different seams within the PPF. Well, it's really important that you overlap those seams, mainly because you can't see through this color film. So you have really no idea of exactly where you're trimming or cutting. So we recommend that you lay a seam over instead of up against. So I'll show you an example. Today we have a customer that we did an emerald green on. We're going to take his Yeti cup that looks like this and make it look like this, which is the exact color of his car. So he's got a matching set of Yeti cups for his vehicle. So let's walk through it and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, so we have the film installed on this cup. Now this is not a perfectly flat cup. It actually curves out, so there's a lot of tension on this to get this to hold. So one of the things that we wanted to do is just heat everything real quick before we do a trim, just to make sure there's no fingers that are going to come back. With this seam, because there's so much tension, I usually would put a seam typically about this far away, so you see the edge here. I'll have the seam lay over about that far. On automobiles or anything else, I'll do it like that just to give me a lot of extra grip. That's more about 1/4 inch or so. But because I know there's a lot of tension, there's going to be a lot of fingers, I'm going to trim it back a little farther first. And it's just like cutting PPF, you're just going to score the top. Score that top layer, and then you can pull it away. Now that you have the 1/2 inch, the wider seam trim, I'm looking for these fingers because I know there's a lot of tension on this, and I don't want it to end up peeling back across the seam line. So I'm going to use a little bit of heat to try to force these fingers to move. Now this one's like they're going up to, this one's going a little further, so I want to catch that and push it out, reheat it. This film really likes heat. It responds really nicely to heat, so you can manipulate it almost like vinyl. So now I'm putting a lot of heat and those fingers aren't coming anywhere, going back or pulling back any at all, which is good because that means when I cut the rest of this off and make it the 1/4 inch seam, those fingers should be fine. They shouldn't come back at all.